Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our top starts, streamers, and fades for the Week 2 slate of NFL games. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who should be in your lineup and who should be out. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hit that drop. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin and that is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football Podcast and YouTube channel. Both greatly appreciate it. Week 2 is definitely upon us. We are so happy that football is back and pumped that we can help you win that championship. And today, we are hitting you with our starts of the week, streamers of the week, and fades of the week. But, real quick, check out our start-sit episodes as well from the last 2 days in the link above, Kyle Point. Ding. And then the link in the description below. Check those out.
Yeah. All right, so guys, go ahead and click that like button. Leave a comment for us. We want to know what your sit, start, sit questions. I don't know why every time I say this, I say sit, start. It's in the notes there that way. But your start, sit questions. Give us your specifics, like who to start over who. Put them in the comments below, or go ahead and anywhere on the screen you can find one of our Twitter handles, and you can hit us up there too. If you're on Twitter. If you're not, subscribe, leave a comment, and get notified every time we upload the episode. But last warning, double check your waiver wire for any drops that occurred this week. Make sure that nobody of value was dropped. I think in one of our leagues, what's his name in Miami, the
Myles Gaskin was just dropped.
Yeah, Myles Gaskin
he was picked up and then dropped.
Yeah, he was picked up and dropped, and
piqued my interest.
Yeah, I checked it out a little bit. I was like, but I don't know that our league is deep enough for him yet.
Right, not yet.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see what this.
All right, so let's get started here. Let's go ahead and hit our starts of the week. Let's dive in head first into the shallow end, Justin.
Perfect.
And why don't you give me your QB start of the week?
QB start of the week is Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. I think this is going to be a shootout against the Falcons, and from what I've seen, he looked pretty darn good with the new addition of CeeDee Lamb. Yes, they do lose Blake Jarwin for the year, but I just think that means even more work for Amari, CeeDee, and Michael Gallup. So that's my start of the week at QB. Who do you got for QB?
At QB, I have Aaron Rodgers, actually. I was looking all over the place, and I just landed there. He's going against Detroit.
Point over your right shoulder for me. There
right
it is.
There. I know. It's a homer pick, but it's not a homer pick. It's also based on actual reason.
It is.
Here. All right, look, dude was dropping dimes last week.
He was, man.
And the news story is that they drafted Jordan Love not to replace him, but to light a fire under his butt to get him going, right? Because he's been lazy the last 4 to 5 years, throwing off his back foot all the time, not getting out of the pocket, holding on to the ball too long, missing open guys, like not missing them with the ball, but just flat out not seeing them, that sort of thing. And look, they're going against Detroit, who got lit up by Trubisky. The dude killed them. Is that a bad thing? Is it broken? Broken defense?
What?
Wait, no, it can't be. It can't be. Matt Patricia's a defensive guru.
I mean, he's got a number 2 pencil.
Yeah. All right. So, Aaron Rodgers, that offense is opening up the playbook, guys. I think that things are turning around a little bit there in that respect. I'm not calling for them to win the Super Bowl, Justin. Don't worry. But they do look pretty good.
Yeah, they look all right.
All right. So, who do you have at running back? Start of the week for me.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Shocker.
That's all you need.
I'll give you another thing. It's against the Jacksonville defense.
Yeah.
And they're not great against the run. They weren't great last year, and I don't think they added anybody.
Wait, did they have a defense?
They do. They do. Actually, they have a decent enough defense to beat the Colts
against the run.
Week. Yeah, but
not against the run. No.
Which is something that I was really shocked of why it wasn't really game stripped it out. I just, with the Marlon Mack injury, I think that really threw everything off for the Colts, and that's why I kind of went away from the run. But Derrick Henry, I think he's going to have a monster week. I said Josh Jacobs last week, and hey, he did all right.
Let me make sure I don't have Derrick Henry across the table from me this week, because apparently your start of the week running back is going to be money. I'm guessing 3 touchdowns out of Josh Jacobs, RB1.
Yes.
That's pretty good. All right. So for
Did I
me,
break it?
yeah, for me, I've got Jonathan Taylor actually versus Minnesota.
Hey.
Yeah, Minnesota's just their defense is falling apart a little bit here, guys. And yeah, I've got your homer here, right?
I know. Thank you.
All the people who paid 50% plus of their fab dollars for Hines are going to get really mad, probably. So I might have made a few people upset there. But we've seen this from Hines before. That's the thing that I kind of like I had creeping in the back of my head. I'm like, I remember another rush to the waiver wire for Nyheim Hines in the past. And
it was last year whenever Marlon Mack broke a bone in his hand.
Yeah. And how long did that work out for Nyheim Hines? Not that long. It was
Jonathan
like 2 or
Williams
3 games.
became the guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that tells me that Frank Reich is going to go, you know what, this Jonathan Taylor guy that we spent a little bit of draft capital on, maybe we should check out what he can do. I don't know.
Let's see.
All right, so who do you have for me at wide receiver start of the week?
Wide receiver Amari Cooper. I'm going to go ahead and give that little QB wide receiver stack.
I was going to say, you got that stack going, huh?
I got that little stack going. This might be one of my DFS players if I can keep it within budget here.
I don't know if you can.
I don't know if I can. But we've kind of talked about this in the past if you watch any of our stuff when it comes to Mike McCarthy and having a alpha wide receiver one. He likes to feed them the ball. 10 targets last week for Amari, and I think that's just going to continue. And like I said, in a shootout against the Falcons, the Falcons cornerbacks, I couldn't name you one because there's not really anything to name.
Don't bother to learn their names. It's not useful information. It's not.
Who do you have for?
You just need to know that they are player A and player B. And that they're tackling dummies. All right. So for my wide receiver start of the week, another one, buddy. I'm going homers all around apparently, right? Ty. Look, that I watched that Minnesota secondary. It was bad. It was brutal, dude. They had 3 rookies there and they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop anything at all. Devontae killed them and he looked like he wasn't trying.
Right.
Ty is going to do the same thing. I'm convinced this week. He had the target share. He's got the rapport. He's going to do it. And look, they went and signed. They went and signed a new corner in Minnesota. That's how bad they know they are right now. And that guy ain't going to get in there and play and knock it all around. Look, Ty had a couple drops this last week. He's playing pissed off because they lost to the Jaguars. So, and they're at home. I don't think they're going to have any fans, right? I don't know, but they're still at home.
I think we're going to have a few. Yeah,
a couple. But I'm looking for a blow up out of Ty.
I think so too. And he's literally came out this week and said, "Look out!
Yeah,
look out for this week. If you're going up against me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about you."
Hey, I got him in our league. I'm like, please.
All right, for tight end, kind of cherry picking on this one. It's Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens. And I was getting ready to say this, but then I was like, on backtrack because I don't. But I almost feel sorry for the Houston Texans because week 1 they had to face the Chiefs, Travis Kelce. Week 2, let's go ahead and go against Mark Andrews. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, the Chiefs, Kelce came out and just lit them on fire, and they have had issues in the past defending against tight end. And what we saw out of Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson from last year to this year, I think it's going to be even better because Mark Andrews' snap share is even higher than it was last year.
Yeah. All right, for me, I've got Evan Ingram. The Giants are going against Chicago here, and we talked about this the other day. The absolute irony that Chicago was carrying, like at one point, they had 12 tight ends, and they couldn't defend against the tight end position. They made Hawkinson look pretty good. I think Ingram, who's even more athletic and more capable, should look good too. I'm not looking for anybody else in that Giants offense right now other than Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley. Like, they're the only 2 things worth playing. I did check. Chicago has 6 tight ends. I think one of them's on their practice squad. Because you need that many tight ends, right?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. You need that many over offensive linemen or healthy running backs. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about our streamers of the week. These are the guys you're going to pick up to fill in. We're just talking about QBs, tight ends, and defenses here because you should have depth at running back and wide receiver because you followed our strategy, which is to draft depth at those positions and avoid depth at the other positions. Okay, so who do you have as QB streamer of the week for us?
Yeah, the streamers for QBs it's not quite where it usually is when it comes to what we talk about streamers for QBs, because luckily we haven't had any really injuries for quarterbacks. So
we're also not on the bye weeks yet, which is when this really starts to take off and is necessity.
But we definitely want to throw this in. And for me, I am going to the homer pick for myself, and that is actually quarterback Phillip Rivers. It's basically what we've already talked about when it comes to T.Y. Hilton. This guy is pissed off of the performance he had.
Yeah.
But I think with another real game, because it's really hard to emulate what a real game is in practice, and he's still filling out all these wide receivers, and I think we still have a lot of weapons for the Colts, and I think we just have a bounce-back game for Phillip Rivers.
It's just a matter of time until Phillip Rivers realizes that T.Y. is like Keenan Allen, but better.
Yes.
It's just a matter of time.
Who do you have at quarterback?
I have Kirk Cousins versus Indy as well, because this is going to be a shootout, and Indianapolis had trouble with Gardner Minshew. I think they're going to have trouble with Kirk Cousins. Thielen gets open, man. He gets open. You know that. And no amount of great defense is going to stop him and shut him down. And so I'm looking for this offense to actually be able to manage something, passing game out of the backfield, the short passing game, couple deep passes. I think it's going to be fine. It's streamer situation. You're not right now. If you're looking for a streamer, it's because you had somebody get hurt. There aren't any. So you should have a solid QB, and you're not really looking to pick somebody up right now. All right, so move on to tight end. Who do you have for us at streamers?
I have Logan Thomas of the Washington football team. This is former quarterback Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
And I feel like
three or 4 years in the league now, right?
It's actually probably a little bit more than that. It's about 3 or 4 years that he's transferred to the tight end position. That's what it was, because he did try out for a couple years at quarterback. And, I look at it as Arizona is who they're going up against. They gave up a ton of points last year to tight ends. They did bring in Isaiah Simmons, top 10 pick, top 5 pick, I think it was. But my boy George Kittle just destroyed the hell out of him. And he was also the one that was burnt on Raheem long touchdown.
Yeah, I was going to say Isaiah Simmons didn't look good.
Well, he's a rookie.
But he looked
the benefit of the doubt.
He looked slow.
Yeah. Well, this guy, Logan Thomas, is a massive human being, and he's still learning that position. But I also look at –
we're not talking Big Montana, are we?
No. Easy, killer. Easy.
Nobody's Big Montana.
Nobody's Big Montana. But I look at, when it comes to tight ends, I look a lot of, the amount of routes that they ran. And Logan Thomas ran the 4th most routes at tight end. And this is the guy that's most likely still available in your league right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pick him up. Not just stream him. If you have an opportunity, stash him on your bench.
Yeah. A lot of these guys are, I think we cut it off at like 50 or 60% availability, I believe.
That's on our waiver one.
That was on our waiver one, and I tried to keep it even lower.
We were looking even lower on a lot of these. Who do you have for tight end?
All right. I have Eric Ebrun going against Denver. Denver did okay against the Titans, but that defense is still kind of hurt. Their edge rushers are hurt. They're just not there yet. And so I'm looking for Pittsburgh to kind of get that passing game really going. And if it is moving, their intermediate routes are really important aspects of that offense. And so I'm looking for both Ebrun and Deontay Johnson to actually have good weeks this week, I think. In that short passing game coming out of the crossing stuff. Excuse me. All right. Who do you have as your defensive streamer?
My defensive streamer is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're probably looking at this and like, well, didn't they give up like 30-something points to the Saints? Yes, they did, but they gave up very few yards. And we've kind of talked about this, you and I, Kyle, when it comes to a lot of the first few games, that you'll see this where there's not as many yards, but there's a lot of points. And I think a lot of it maybe has to do with the special teams and muffs and stuff like that, because that's what happens. There's a lot of feeling out at the beginning of the season, especially if not having a preseason. So it's not the Saints that they're going against.
That's part of the reason that I think Cincinnati's offense will get a little bit better. I'm concerned about that line, but they had some mistakes in that Thursday night game, and those mistakes killed them. I think they actually get pretty close to winning that game if they don't have that muffed snap timeout thing happen in the second quarter. But Yeah, I think that you're right. This is early in the year. There's no preseason. There's problems
Right.
like that. So
I think they're going to tighten it up,
yep.
and they're not going against the Saints. They're going against the Carolina Panthers, who did look pretty good,
Yeah.
but it's still not the stature of the Saints, and
No.
that's still another feeling out period when it comes to the Panthers. So,
Yeah.
who do you have
Well,
for your
and
defense?
not only that, but the Saints didn't really have a whole lot of success with Kamara as much as they did with Latavius Murray. So it kind of leaves it up in the air. What will Christian McCaffrey be able to do against Tampa Bay?
Right.
You're not going to shut him down completely, but you might be able to get him slowed down a little bit. I have Green Bay versus Detroit. I promise this isn't because of a homer pick. This is because Detroit is down Galladay, and that leaves Marvin Jones, and the Green Bay secondary is solid. Tell me who's going to be the running back. I mean, I think at this point it's Adrian Peterson.
Until DeAndre Swift is completely healthy, I think it is AP.
Yeah, and AP is not the same AP that used to gash Green Bay for 200+ yards a game. He's not that same fast guy that they are going to be worried about as much. So I think that Green Bay could be solid here. Actually, I don't anticipate a shootout so much, so I don't think that you're going to be worried about points.
Right.
All right, so let's move on to fades. Who do you have as your QB that you are fading this week?
Yeah, right before we get into this one, it's fades are more of, a lot of people think of these people are starters already, and it's like, okay, we're not guaranteed that they're going to have good of a result.
Yeah, we're not saying we're not saying bench them. What we're saying is don't rely on this. Like, don't rely on them to do what they did last week or to put up a typical week. This is going to be a bad week.
Yeah. And so I preface that with the fact that my quarterback fade is actually Deshaun Watson. And it's not because of the player. It's basically because of the matchup. It's against the Baltimore D. You're still going to start him because you probably draft him within the first few rounds. But just don't expect that top 10 performance that you're used to out of Deshaun Watson. And it all has to do with the matchup. That's really all it comes down to.
All right. I've got Tom Brady versus
#Twommy.
#Twommy. This has to do primarily with missing Godwin, most likely. Now, Godwin has come back to practice, but he is guaranteed to be doubtful, which I am thinking he's not going to clear the concussion protocol. He is still in the protocol, even though he is back at practice technically. And then not only that, Scotty Miller, I can't see Bruce Arians being happy that Scotty Miller was targeted as much as he was. And so I see Brady forcing it a little bit more. I think that he's going to experience the interception situation that Jameis had for a long time, because that's Arians' system.
Right.
So I see that becoming a problem. So I'm fading him. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying it's not the week to rely on him. All right, moving on. Who do you have as running back fade?
Running back is Melvin Gordon, the Denver Broncos. And, before you stop, you're like, isn't Philip Lindsay out? Well, he's most likely out, but they're going against the Steelers, and the Steelers defense is the Steelers defense of old. They're a very good unit. And I wasn't really that impressed by what I saw out of Melvin Gordon. And I just think it's going to continue kind of thing. And, even Royce Freeman got involved, even with being the third running back. And, Royce Freeman is still a guy. And I feel like they really just don't want to put the full workload on Melvin Gordon. So just kind of just caution.
Yeah. I'm running with Josh Jacobs as my fade.
Hey, that was my start last week, bro.
That was, but you know what? New Orleans has got a very tough run defense.
They do.
And I don't think that look, I would say don't count on more than 60 yards and a single TD. Like I would not count on much more. It's definitely not going to be the 3 TD week that you got last week. But it's not like you're going to bench the dude. Just don't rely on him to have that blow up. You better be looking elsewhere. All right. So who do you have as a wide receiver fade?
Wide receiver fade is DK Metcalf.
Dude, we've been fading him all summer long.
We have, and we looked at this one though, and it has to do with matchup as well. It's like, okay, are we fading DK or are we fading Tyler Lockett? And we kind of, for myself, we landed on DK. And the Patriots defense, for all the opt-outs that they did have, the linebacking core, they opted out a few people, those safeties and everything. They're still really good against the deep ball, and that's still one of the big factors of DK Metcalf, and I think that's just going to continue. So there's a lot of people that love DK Metcalf, put him as a wide receiver 2, and I wouldn't mind him as a wide receiver 3 or even your flex if you
I think Belichick is going to figure out a way to hit Metcalf at the line, break his route, and I think that's where he falls apart. So I'm going with Stephon Diggs at Miami. I just don't see it this week. I think that defense is a lot better than people have given a whole lot of credit for, and I don't see him getting there. I still fully believe that John Brown is the guy to own in that offense, and it's not Stephon Diggs. I think that the consistency is going to be a problem.
I concur,
and I don't think that this is the week to even. I would be cautious with Josh Allen even this week.
Byron Jones is down there in Miami now, isn't he?
Former Cowboy. So. Yeah. I think that defense is a lot better than people are thinking, man. They got Brian Flores, and he ain't Matt Patricia. All right. He actually knows what he's doing. All right.
He's got a pen, not a pencil.
Yeah, he's got a pen. Felt tip. All right. So give me your tight end fade.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. I don't know either. It works for me.
All right. My tight end fade is Rob Gronkowski. I was hoping for a better result week 1, but you and I both kind of knew what we were going to get.
Dude, we had him outside of our top 12.
We did.
All year.
Right
People
now,
drafted him.
The dude has a name, and it's a name only right now. At times, I hope he kind of proves us wrong, but it's also, there's a precedent. There's, Matt or Bruce Arians. Has he ever had a real tight end, top 10 tight end on any of his teams? And he's had talented tight ends.
But not only that, but who's the guy that OJ Howard, right? Has been the featured guy forever. But Cameron Brate has always performed better. Right. Mm-hmm. So the guy that you don't think's the good guy is the good guy in that offense to have historically. And then now they've got the guy with the name and suddenly OJ Howard looks okay. And it's like he just needed somebody who was better on the team than him so that he could get targeted.
I am in a pretzel now, Kyle, when it comes to the tight end room for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody out there, just go ahead and avoid that.
Avoid. No one should have drafted anyone down there. We didn't have any of them in our top 12, I believe. Nope. Gronk might have been around 13 or something, but that's about it.
I think when he originally signed, we got a little too excited.
Yeah. And we moved him out of there.
Controlled ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you have as your tight end fade?
Dallas Goddard, the Rams, dude.
But he just blew up.
He did just blow up. But guess what? Zach Ertz is still on that team, and he didn't get his. He's going to get his. He's
going to get his.
And this is the Rams. That's a good defense. That's a really good defense. And by the way, the Rams today extended Robert Woods.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like a $65 million extension.
I know.
Or something.
I don't know where they're coming up with this money now. They just paid Jalen Ramsey. They just paid Cooper Kupp.
They stole a printing press from one of the Federal Reserves. I'm convinced of it because that's a lot of money, dude. And so, yeah.
But hopefully at one point we get to say friend of the show, Robert Woods, because we are big fans.
Yeah, we love Robert Woods. Yeah, we think he's the wide receiver 1 there. And I think we're right. But yeah, Dallas Goddard. I know you guys paid up for him if you got him right now because he was somebody that people didn't draft. I thought you could draft him. I did. I do still. I think that he's extremely athletic. Yeah. I think he's a very athletic tight end. But I know he did well last week. He ain't going to do good this week. So just back off of that one. All right, guys. That is our starters, streamers, and fades for week 2 of the 2020 NFL season. We hope you guys have got all the information to make all the decisions that you need. If not, make sure that you drop a comment for us or hit us up over on Twitter. We will try to respond to you. We try to respond to everybody, every comment, everywhere, so that we can help you out. We want to help you guys get to your championship this year, so feel free to hit us up for that info. All right, so make sure if you have not subscribed already that you subscribe and that you click that bell so you're notified every time we upload the podcast. We are uploading episodes Tuesday through Saturday, and we might drop in some Sunday live streams along the way. And if we do that, the only way you're going to be notified is if you have the bell clicked. So make sure you do that. Before we go, I'm going to go ahead and drop on the screen here a couple of our episodes from this week to help you out. The last 2 episodes, which were our start-sit episodes, so that you guys can make all those decisions that you need. Feel free to click on those. Thanks again for being a fan of The Upside, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks, guys.